Hi everyone, welcome to the IIPC talk about 5 reasons to have an out-of-body experience. Who's going to talk about it are the Conscientiology instructors Patrícia Barbosa and Rafael Guimarães. So, have you thought about the benefits of having an out-of-body experience? I'm Simone Sandy, a Conscientiology volunteer since 2011, an instructor since 2012, and one of the IIPC International Sector Coordinators. I'm here to introduce the instructors that are going to talk about out-of-body experience, and also I'm going to read your questions that you will place on chat. Patrícia Barbosa is a medical physicist and has been a Conscientiology volunteer since 2008, and a Projectiology instructor since 2009. She's a painter practitioner, bibliographer, and also one of the IIPC International Sector Coordinator. Welcome, Patrícia.
Hi, Simone. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here for this live debate. Thank you.
Rafael Guimarães is a chemist and has been a Conscientiology volunteer since 2016 and a Projectiology instructor since 2017. He's also a painter practitioner, bibliographer, and a member of the IIPC International. Welcome, Rafael.
Hi, Simone and everybody. Thanks for the kind introduction. Thank you.
Well, we have a 40 minutes talk, so please place your questions and contributions on chat. So I will be glad to forward them to the instructors. Now, guys, I will leave you for the debate. I'll be back as soon as we have some participants' questions. Have a good talk.
Thank you, Simone.
Thank you, Simone. Hope that you have a lovely time right here. Okay, guys, so I'd like to start informing that IIPC is a non-profit secular institution. It means that our studies here have no religious nor mystical basis. Essentially, we investigate parapsychic phenomena with a scientific approach. This is why we apply the principle of disbelief that says, do not believe in anything, not even in what you hear in this live debate. Experiment, have your own experiences. And actually, this principle is an invitation for you to use your critical reasoning in a positive way. Question the information here. Let's have an open debate. We are here only to inform. We don't want to convince or prove it to anyone, okay? And the most important thing is experiment. So, Rafael, let's start our talk. Could you tell us about one of the good reasons to have an OOBE, that is, expand perceptions and get to know our extra-physical nature?
Yeah, sure, Patricia. Thank you very much for this question. In fact, we are here in the interphysical dimension, and we are constrained by our 5 senses. But we are much more than that. For instance, when we are sleeping, when our body is relaxing, so it makes our holosoma, the set of our 4 different bodies. If the production can put on the screen the holosoma, it might help. And when we are relaxing, we lose a little bit the connection among these vehicles. So, and in this situation, usually we can go out of the body, usually with the psychosoma, but we can also go using our mental soma. So just a few words about the holosoma on the screen. We have the soma, what is these vehicles, our body, what we know and we use every day to walk and manifest ourselves in this dimension. We have the energosome, what is our battery, let's say, and connects our physical body to the psychosoma. And psychosoma is also known as the emotion body, which the psychosoma is the vehicle we usually go to the extra-physical dimension. And then we have the mental soma, what is also known as body of discernment. which is the most noble body we have, and from where we have our most important and elevated thoughts. And then I was saying, when we go out, we go usually using our psychosoma, and then, well, the good news is everybody can do this. It's not reserved, or somebody has the privilege of go outside of the body, having the out-of-body experience. And you just have to work out your energies, and through some exercise, and Conscientiology has a lot of exercise to suggest you. And by applying these techniques, you allow yourself to promote the projections, to have out of the body experience. And then you can feel more alive than ever, you know, and you have to sure you're not your body. They are different things. So you are the consciousness, and the body used to manifest yourself, but the same way as you use your car, but you're not your car. So you get in the car, go to some place, and then you go out the car. You're not the car. So we are not the body, but we use the body for this important thing we are doing right here, right now. Okay, and well, then the extra-physical dimension, it's a very different place than we have here, and such as there is a different laws that regulate that environment. So we cannot say there is a physical law, but a paraphysical law. And you can experiment to fly, crossing walls. Your psychosoma is elastic, so you might try to extend your finger, for example. You can change your appearance just by thinking, and you can create the objects. So some things you can do in the extra physical. But I think the most noble thing, most important thing you can do there, when you promote the out of the body experience, is it's related to the emotions, because when you are in the extra physical, your emotions are more exacerbated. You cannot hide your emotions even from yourself, what is good, because then you can start understanding yourself and do what we call in Conscientiology as self-research. You can research yourself and disclose, for example, your strong traits and your weak traits and much more. So I think I extended a little bit my answer, but you can do a lot of the body.
Oh, yes, for sure, Rafael. And I think that one of the other ways for us to really try to check this reality by answering the question for yourself, do I really have these four bodies? Is maybe to start working with your energies. Because we are here in this dimension, as Rafael said, and we are in a state of a coincidence. All these vehicles are together. And sometimes it's easier for us to start perceiving the energy of the environment or the energy of the people around us. So have you ever had this sensation of entering in a room or entering some place and you feel like the place is kind of heavy? Maybe you have ever felt this pressure on your neck here. And then this is one way for you to perceive and to start to understand how this energetic reality permeates our day life. And if you get to know this and you start moving your energies and you try to master this energetic reality in a positive way, by working with energosoma, which is one of the vehicles of manifestation, you can apply a technique called vibrational state, which is essentially by your will, you're going to move your energies from the top of your head. Just concentrate your energies on the top of your head. You don't need to imagine that. Just try to perceive this subtle reality of your own energies. And then you bring it down to the bottom of your feet, and then you bring it up again, and then try to maintain this movement for a while. See if you have any perceptions. Try to perceive if you have any blockages in your chakras, like frontal chakra, laryngeal chakra, cardiac chakra, and other chakras. And keep moving your energy. Then try to accelerate, speed it up. Speed it up and see what happens. And keep speeding it up. Then you can reach a vibrational sensation, you know? And this is the higher dynamization of your energosoma. That's why we call it vibrational state. Sometimes people perceive that as really vibrating, that your energies are vibrating, or sometimes there are other people that perceives it in a different way. But the thing is, if you're starting working with your energies, it is like the key to open the door for the many dimensions that we have, you know? So don't believe in us. Try to do this exercise. And it's very helpful. Actually, this is a technique even to achieve an out-of-body experience. The vibrational state technique. You mobilize your energies in a very strong and powerful way so that you're starting shaking your psychosoma off your soma, you know? You just expel it off using the vibrational state. So it is actually an interesting technique, and it's also good because while you are trying to achieve the lucid projection by using the vibrational state technique, you're also balancing your energies. You're also cleaning the environment around you. So this is something that actually helps us as well to have more lucidity and try to understand better all the stages and what's going on while I'm leaving my body. When you have an energetic, cleaned environment, it helps a lot. So doing a vibrational state on regular basis, on your bedroom, on your living room, in every room in your house, really helps to do this cleansing, this energetic cleansing. And of course, you need to pay attention to the qualities of your emotions and your thoughts as well. Because there is no use for you to master the energy. It's just a technique. It is just a skill and ability. But then you're thinking bad about your neighbor. You're complaining about your son, or you're in a bad mood, you know. So try to be in a higher spirits while you do this maneuver, this energetic maneuver, because then you make a good and a positive impact on the environment and on the people around you. And this happens because one of the ways that the consciousness, meaning who are the consciousness? Me, Rafael, you, the self, the ego. So one of the ways that the consciousness manifests itself is by the thoughts, the sentiments, and the energies. That's what we call thosin. So we do not just think, you know, we say that we thosinize, because when you're thinking, there is an emotional attached to that thought. And we are like antennas just emitting these thoughts and sentiments through our energies, throughout the world, you know. So this is how a thosin happens. This is how a thosin works. And this is how actually the consciousness manifests itself, you know. So good thosins, good intentions, make an effort to imprint your best wishes, your best energies. I know that sometimes it's not easy. Life is not easy all the time, but making this effort to create a more harmonic or more peaceful and a more tranquil environment is very worthwhile. And actually, peace starts in ourselves. So if we start making this effort to achieve better thoughts, better sentiments, and as a consequence, emanating better and more peaceful, more harmonic energies, we're really making a difference. Like a drop of positivity in the notion. It does make a difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. And just to remember who is with us in the live, there is this book, very interesting book. This is in Portuguese, but you have also in English the Projectiology, and you can download this freely in our website. The production can leave the web link underneath in YouTube or Facebook, and in there you can find these techniques, vibrational state, and much more. So a lot of over 40 techniques to promote out of the body experience.
As Rafael, you were saying about the projectology, we have one question for you from George, and he's saying that it's a great, he's enjoying the live. And his question is, how do I overcome fear in out-of-body experience?
Oh, this is a very common and useful question. Thank you, George. Well, when you promote, when you are in a lucid projection, when you have this out-of-the-body experience, you may feel more alive than ever. Eventually, you can see your body laid out in the bed, for example, and you realize immediately you are not your body. You are just a consciousness, and you are still alive, and you feel great, and you feel more intelligent. You sense this dimension in another. How can I explain? I cannot explain fully because you have to try it out by yourself. You know, I'm just trying to share what I felt when I project myself out of the body. But you just drop this this fear of death, and this is the ultimate thing you can do to lose this type of fears and many other. So you just realize some things, some beliefs we have, they do not have to be. They are not real. Okay, so our life is much more than we thought it was. So it's much broader, and our reality. It's not this interphysical reality, but it's also our reality is also extraphysical. So maybe it's the first time you hear about that, but it's something I think it's worth to think about and to experiment.
Thank you, Rafael. I have another question from Paulo. He wants to know, Patricia, if you can answer now. I already had lucid dreams, but I'm not sure if they were real. How can I differentiate it, lucid dreams from out-of-body experience?
Hi, Paulo. Thank you for your question. This is a really interesting question because it's a challenge for everybody. You know, a dream is a physiological thing that occurs in our brain. So when you go to sleep, our brain reorganizes our memories, you know. So sometimes we perceive this memory reorganization as dreams. And dreams are maybe messy or confused or nonsense, you know. And when you're dreaming, it is something that your brain is doing. It is a mind function, you know. And an OBE or a lucid projection is a real parapsychic phenomena. So you are going beyond your physiology. You're going beyond your brain's physiology, and you're really entering another dimension, and you're perceiving a reality, and you're interacting in another reality with another body. Because psychosoma, we can say that there is a para brain. We say para to talk about the other dimension. So there is a para brain in psychosoma. So you're functioning there. And actually, if you're lucid enough, you can do things just like we do here lucidly in this awakening physical state, you know. And maybe in the extra physical dimension, we can achieve an even higher levels of lucidity. So when we're recalling, when we're remembering a lucid projection, It makes sense. You know that you are in charge of the things. You can command your things. You can control your thoughts. You can control your actions. You have a more logical sequence of events, you know, because you're actually manifesting yourself. Okay, so are some tips for you to differentiate dreams to lucid projection. But the most important thing is write down. Keep a notebook, like a projective diary, on the side of your bed, and write down all the perceptions that you have. Just write it down. Don't be critical or judge this in the beginning. Just write it down freely. And then you can try to analyze the coherency and if it was a dream or an OOBE, you know, but only you will be able to say for sure what's going on with yourself.
Thank you, Patricia. We have a question from Margaret Belli, if Rafael can answer. Which of the vehicles of manifestation of the consciousness we project ourselves?
Thank you, Margaret, for the question. Well, as far as we know, we experience in the conscientiology, the conscientiologists, we can project ourselves using the psychosoma, what is more usual. And usually when we describe and when we publish our findings in papers, when we talk about in lectures, usually we are talking about psychosoma experiences. And in the psychosomatic dimension, it resembles pretty much with the interphysical dimension. And but we can also project ourselves using the mental somatic vehicle. And then, but the characteristic of this projection is very different. So you have another attributes because your psychosome is the pure reason. And for example, you don't have a physical place per se, and you can perceive the whole environment as a 360 degrees, and all at the same time you receive the blocks of information, not just word by word or telepathy is different, the communication. But I don't have this type of experience myself, only the psychosomatic experience so far. To promote the mental somatic projections, there are techniques also described by whom have experience already. I don't know if Patricia can contribute with a personal mental somatic experience or such.
Right now, I don't remember any particular one, but one of the nice things for us to improve this and achieve different stages of and different types of lucid projections is really to invest in our lucidity. So we were talking about lucidity and we were talking about extra-physical things that we can do. So we can actually do a vibrational state with your psychosoma. You can move your energies in the extra-physical dimension in order to achieve higher levels of lucidity. And why is that? This is another good reason for us to do this, which is exactly this that was shown, to amplify self-lucidity, to establish or revise life goals and other important decisions. So we are now in a moment that the earth was forced to stop. People were forced to slow down due to pandemic, and people are confined in their homes. So this is a good moment for us to make a pit stop and try to revise our life goals, you know? And sometimes it is hard to think in this dimension because have so many worries, and sometimes you are preoccupied with your health, with your finances, with your job. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and it is hard sometimes to face it as an opportunity to change. And maybe you can set is a projective goal to think about important issues of your life in another dimension. And if you have some existential intention as well, you can have specific function helpers, meaning consciousness that manifest themselves in another dimension that are interested in helping you because your intention is good. And probably if you succeed, the result will benefit a lot of people. So this is a good moment for us to set these goals, have projections, and try to think in another dimension, because then we can expand our perceptions, we can face it in a different angle, maybe we can have an overview of our life. And this is really interesting. Actually, for the last week, the last 2 weeks, this is happening to me. I've been thinking in a different way. I'm in a phase in my life that I'm revising my life goals. And I'm using a lot of parapsychic phenomena to really broaden my perception, try to understand what is my place in this world, how can I manifest myself better, what should I do in order to increase my efficiency in this life, So this is actually happening to me, and the results are really interesting. So actually, I think better in the extra physical dimension. And relative to this point as well, some people before born may have done what we called an intermissive course. So to have a more lucid projections, you can also try to recollect your intermissive course, because there was a course where we were establishing these life goals, when we were planning before this life, intraphysical life, before we were born. Some people plan this life, Rafael, what could you tell us about the intermissive course and proexis, the way we say it? What is a proexis?
Well, proexis is when you do this intermissive course. What is intermissive, first of all? So in between one intraphysical, this is intraphysical experience, and another. So we say, somebody deceived. But in our case, in the Conscientiology, we say somebody discard the body, or soma, this soma. And then the interphysical, the intermissive period is this period among one experience and another in the interphysical. And during the intermissive period, you can decide to have a course more or less advanced. So it depends on your lucidity, depends on your evolutionary state. And then you might decide during this course to project your next experience into the interphysical. And this we call the proexis, the existential program, or the plan. This is like a project planning for your next life, in other words. So if you have a proexis, you may try to recollect, as said by Patricia, by doing a lucid projection, for example. I remember, Patricia, I was driving, okay, but I was not moving my energies, because it's not. Pay attention to that, to the audience. You are not going to move your energies while you are operating some machine or you're driving, because you can just promote this out of the body experience while you're driving. You don't want to do that. But I was just waiting for the light sign, and then I have this recollection for a glimpse that came up from my memory situation during my intermissive course. It was at the end of the course, and we were celebrating, and I remember the buildings, the gardens, and it was a wonderful place. And that's a memory I have. But we can. I have other memories, and we can promote this to have a more clear idea for what you have really, what you have to do in this life. It's not just a superficial thing. I have to get some money. I have to raise my kids, and I have this family, or I have a business to run. But really, what is the evolutionary thing you have to do during this life? So I think it. Do you have something to add to Praxis, Patricia?
I think you mute, Patricia. Patricia.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Actually, I have nothing else to add. And Simone is here, so maybe she has more questions. Hi, Simone.
I do have two questions for you, so you can start, Patricia, to answer to any Muniz. And how can I overcome anxiety in out-of-body experience?
Okay, so essentially, hi, Ani, thanks for your question. And it is actually connected to one of the good reasons to have an OBE, which is to develop emotional balance. I understand we are living a lot of pressure nowadays, and anxiety is a very common symptom, you know. One way is to apply techniques. There are some techniques to achieve an OBE that works with breathing and self-relaxation. So this is very interesting because we have a technique called, this is psychophysiological relaxation technique. So you're going to relax your body and also your mind. You need to slow down your thoughts because usually when we're anxious, we are afraid of something, or we are insecure of something, or we are actually facing this moment that we must have important decisions, and all of these situations bring anxiety. And for you to slow it down, you need to slow down your thoughts. First of all, everything passes. There is a good technique. Write down on a piece of paper, this will pass. You know, if you're facing a crisis or a difficult moment, everything passes, you know? So no matter how difficult and how hard and how emotional stressing it is, it will also pass. And there is this technique because you contract your muscles, breathe in, breathe out, and relax. And you do it all over your body. This technique is described in the treatise Projectiology, so you can see there. And there is also another technique, which is the rhythm respiration, you know, so you're going to breathe in a different pace. And this activates some parts of our brain. It changes the way we're breathing. And you're going to focus only on your breath. And then you're going to calm down. See, this is not meditation or yoga. No, it is just a technique that impacts your body and impacts your physiology and leads you to a more relaxed state. And when we talk about relaxation, we're talking about the 4 vehicles relaxation. You need to relax your body, your energies, your emotionals, your psychosoma, and your thoughts, your mental soma. So you're going to relax, learn how to relax your whole body, you know. So this is one good tip. Another good tip is trying to find a little reserve a time in your day to do something that you like. We are not in this life to suffer. You know, our life goals, our life project, there is not a clause there, oh, you evolve by suffering. No, 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 no. We do not evolve by suffering. We evolve by hard work. We sweat a lot. That's not easy. But suffering is optional. You know, you can control your emotions, just like you can control your thoughts, just like you can control your energies. And suffering and feeling bad is optional. I know that this is hard, but you can achieve You can master your emotion, developing the self-control in a positive way, not repression, self-control in a positive way, you know. And out-of-body experiences help us a lot because in this other dimension, you can perceive better your emotions, you can react faster. The psychosoma is the body of the emotions. So when you are out of your body, you can see yourself and deepen your self-research. Oh, I react like this, I react like that. How could I change this reaction? Let me try to calm down my psychosoma. So extra-physical dimension and the para-body psychosoma are very interesting and powerful tools for you to scan and try to deal with your emotions better. Okay?
Thank you, Patricia. Rafael, we have two questions here that I think they are related, and you can answer both. Tiago, he asking, when we are out of body, are we alone there? Or are there other projected people? And Paul is asking if it's really possible to meet our relatives and friends that had already passed away in the out-of-body experience. I think these two questions you're able to answer in one.
Okay, thanks, Paulo and Tiago, for the question. Yes, we can meet eventually other projected consciousness, as well as we can meet conscientious, what is people who are not, does not have the body anymore, so the physical body, but they are there in the extra physical dimension. So, and we can eventually have some conversation or interact with those consciousness. This is possible. And even now this is Paulo answered for Paulo question. You can use your experience to meet other people who you know, but now we're gonna enter into another topic very important to the Conscientiology, which is the Cosmoethics. You have to think of what is the best for all. So now we are facing this period of time with several people who are decimating, who are dying, let's say. So at this very same time, or this amount of deaths, they are concentrated now during this pandemic. And many people are trying to, maybe because of kind of, I'll say this, the myth of the relative energy, they are trying to communicate with them and searching for ways to communicate with them. But to use the parapsychism, for example, the lucid projection to do so, might be not the best thing in this moment, because you are not sure in which conditions the other consciousness are. So maybe they need to rest, they need to be attended into a para hospital. Para is always beyond, no? It's not interphysical, the extra-physical hospital, or, and the question is this the moment? Am I good? Am I balanced enough to have a good, productive conversation? Is the other consciousness in a good shape to have this conversation as well? So usually when it is a short period of time from the decimation to where you want to reach this person, so if this is a short period of time, usually the consciousness needs some time to put together. But I don't have an answer. This is up to everyone to think about it. But as a general advice, I would say you have to think what is the best for everybody, and just not to try to fulfill some inner, some selfish needs. Okay?
Thank you, Rafael. Well, it has been a great debate so far. It's a shame that the time is running out, and we are about finished. Patricia and Rafael, would you like to make your final considerations?
Yes, it was very nice. Thank you, Annie, for your feedback as well. And I hope to see you in the next IIPC's activities. And if you have more questions on the chat, maybe we can answer them after the debate, okay? Thank you.
Well, I appreciate the invitation to participate here with Simone and Patricia. I'd like to thank all the team, the staff that help us to put this live on. And I'd like to thank all the audience for the questions and for the opportunity to interassist each other. I really thank you, appreciate, and thank you very much.
We thank you, Patricia and Rafael, for this enlightening talk, and thank you all for the participation and contribution. We will meet again in other talks and Conscientiology courses. If you want to know more about IIPC events, follow us on Facebook and other social media. We are in Instagram, YouTube, and website. Have a nice time with a lot of reflections, and see you soon. Bye-bye.